Hey there, Wargamers, Justin the Arm Painter, and today we're going to talk about my hobby progress for my Swordsworn minis. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in again today and letting me back into your day, into your lives, and allowing me to ramble about something that I'm passionate about. And I've been working my ass off on minis, and it's going slow. I'm not finished yet, but I've bit off a little bit more than I could chew in that I've got a lot of stuff that I've started working on. So it slowed me down finishing, but when it's done, I'm going to have a lot of things to play with. I'm going to have my Dragon's Fury Karita stuff, my Swordsworn Davian stuff. I'm going to have my Wolf's Dragoons. I'll have my standard mercs that are my MFA, my canon character stuff, which if you haven't read Shrapnel issue 6, I'm in it. Then we're going to have my Beta Galaxy, Clan Wolf, and some Comstars. So we have six factions to sprinkle in when we're doing battle reports. So I think it's going to pay off in the end. And not only that, I've got a bunch of terrain I've been investing in as well, so we can spice up the battle reports and keep it going. I know I don't put those out as frequently as I want, but it's something I want to do more of. And you guys seem to be responding well, and I'm committed to trying to improve and do better. And hopefully one day I'll be able to do some more filming of those at home when I get my own place. Right now I'm stuck filming them when I'm at work, when I've got some time, or I come in. Actually, typically come in on a day off or before shift to film. So putting in the work because I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy bringing something to you guys that you might enjoy and getting the feedback and trying to grow Battletech. So let's get into it today and talk about the mechs that I've been working on for my Swordsworn Davian. So as from the, I think I've got another update for these up previously, and this is just kind of the update to where they currently are. Now they're almost done. I've got to finish the glow or the blue inside of his barrels there, and then base them, and our spider is finished. I thought about doing some engine glow in here, but I feel like I might skip it. It's something I could do, but I've got a lot of mechs here, and for tabletop standard, I think he is already looking pretty good. At the very least, I could black them all out, put some wash in there so that the engines aren't on, air quotes. We'll see. If this was something I was more worried about for like display, air quotes purposes, I might do an orange glow in there. But if I do that level of detail on everything I have, I'll be painting forever. I did try something new on these, and that I tried to do the lenses, the canopy's a little different, so I went with light yellow. I felt blue would have looked weird because blue, green would look weird because green, and then red, I don't know, I'd be getting maybe a Christmassy vibe. I guess red might have worked, but I've done red a lot, and I really want to try yellow to give that like gold plated kind of look. And it's not perfect, but I think that turned out pretty cool. So our spider here. For one of our other little light mechs, we've got our Sentinel. And let me zoom that out just a smidge so we can get him in frame there. And for, again, aiming for a little bit above tabletop, or at least for my skill set, what I'm aiming for, because I can sit here and edge highlight and do stuff all day. But I got to pick a place to stop, and I feel like I've hit the mark for where I want to be. I really like that. I know Bishop Steiner from the Facebook group, I believe he designed this, and among other things, and I love it. I feel like I might have another one coming. I might. If I don't, I've been trying to trade for one. I can't get anyone to part with the Sentinel. If you got one, sound off in the comments below. Maybe we can get a trade going. For our third light, which Anthony Scroggins I think will appreciate, we've got our Raven. Really digging how he's turning out. And then, actually, we got a fourth light too. I guess I did 4 lances, didn't I? We got our Locust. And I was doing an unboxing previously talking about Game Armor Combat, and I was saying you can't go wrong with the Locust if you got one. And at least for Alpha Strike, I feel like it's probably also equally annoying and classic, but for the points, annoying little mech. I like it. I own several now. Little swarm of Locust. For our mediums, let's, I think this is the Valkyrie? I always get these mixed up. The Valkyrie, Stinger, and Wasp I always mess up, but I think this was the Valkyrie. I'll learn them eventually as I start playing more games with them. Alright, I apologize for the blur as well. I've got this super zoomed in, so when I pull the mechs off and my hands go by, it kind of blurs. So, got the Blackjack. I got a trade coming, I believe. Actually, I think I bought it. I think Fortress had a couple of models, and I picked up, I believe, a Blackjack and a Warhammer 2C. He had a really good deal. I think this was $8, $9. I think it might have been 9. I know the box set's like 20, but still, you can't get them right now. So $9 wasn't too bad. And then I got the Warhammer 2C, I think, for 10. Not too bad. Is it 9 or 10? So, pretty happy with that. You got you can see where the lens is glossy. I put gloss varnish on it, so I have to like kind of rotate it so you can not get the sheen of the light on there. But yeah, pretty happy with how that guy's turning out. I like that a lot better than the Harebrained Schemes Blackjack from the game and MechWarrior Online. Just for whatever reason, the mini looks cooler than the video game, to me, personally. I think it has something to do with the way the top is, the way it sits. It just looks more level. I like it. We've got our Shadowhawk. Can't go wrong with Shadowhawk. I love it. I absolutely love Shadowhawk. For me, I think this is an iconic mech, or at least to me, it feels like one. And I love the Shadowhawk. I've got, I think, a Shadowhawk in almost every Inner Sphere faction I own. I think has a Shadowhawk. If not, it's pretty close. Just a solid mech. And then we've got, to round out our mediums, that might be a heavy. I can't remember if the Bushwhacker is a heavy. It might be a heavy medium or a light heavy. We got our Hunchy. Really like the hazard stripe decals from Fighting Piranha. Good stuff. I wanted to go pew pew, but he's more like kaboom, kaboom when he fires. Actually, it's probably more like kaboom, click, 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 kaboom, because he's probably got to reload that giant mailbox of a round he's flying at you, or whatever the size of an AC-20 is. It's huge. But yeah, I mean, I love it. I've got 2 Hunchbacks. Probably should have got more. I love them. And then we've got our Bushwhacker. Really like how he turned out. And again, another one of those where I really like how the cockpit looked. I felt like the yellow jeweling was pretty cool. Yep. And moving on. I don't know if he's a medium, but I got the Super Griffin. It's probably my least favorite one out of here. I bought this like 6 months ago. But I didn't want to have all of the same Griffin because I buy a lot of Griffins and Shadowhawks, so I had to paint up a Super Griffin too. Pew, pew, pew. He might be a heavy, he's a little big. And let's see, for heavies, we got our Rifleman. I really like how that turned out too. I've been told the Rifleman's not a particularly good mech, but I feel like it is a particularly iconic mech for Battletech, and I like him. Like, he may not be good, but it's consistently annoying when you're shooting with him. Like, you can't ignore it. You just don't want to be on the front line. Like, he can't take hits. That's the way I play him. Sit back and play him as a sniper, and I think that's where he excels. But, I mean, I'm not some tactical genius when it comes to Battletech, because I don't know all the stuff. I would probably defer to Fritz for that. If you're not following Wargamer Fritz on YouTube, you should be. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you probably know who he is. But if you don't, check him out. He's got some really good Battletech content. He just rambles. He doesn't do a lot of like video-esque. He'll have like a podcast style where it's mostly audio and a still picture. But the things he talks about tactically are really good. So check him out. Let's see. Listen to me talk like I'm somebody who's important. All right. So we've got our T-Bolt, which, for anyone who knows me, knows this is one of my favorite heavy mechs. Absolutely one of my favorites. And one of the things you'll know, sorry, not sorry, if you're familiar with Battletech, you'll notice that I painted, if I get to focus here, his canopy is supposed to be, or cockpit's supposed to be the underslit here. I painted the top part because I think that looks cooler. It's my model, I'll paint it how I want, but that's technically not supposed to be the cockpit. That's just like a hatch or something on top, or a sensor area or something, and it's actually supposed to be the slit underneath. I find the slit to be super small and you can't really do a lot of cool effects with it, so I paint the above thing as more of a canopy, and perhaps it's not his primary window, but perhaps that is a way for him to view up and out, or it's a sensor thing, or it's his canopy for when he ejects, if he can eject, that shoots off, something like that. So some reason to do an effect here I think can be justified, but for anyone who isn't in the know, just know that that little slit down there is actually where his cockpit viewport is. People get on people in the Facebook groups all the time for painting their Thunderbolts the wrong way, and it's like, I get it, but also it's their model. Paint it how you want, and if you're happy, that's what matters. But I know. Moving on, we've got our Marauder, and this is another one of those mechs where I feel like you can't go wrong with a Marauder. They're not the tankiest thing, but there's a couple variants in the master unit list that are absolutely amazing for the points. You can get a lot of DACA, well, decent DACA, but the variant I like to use has average DACA, but a lot of life. It's a pretty tanky boy. I forget which variant it is. If you'd like to see me do a video just talking about why I use that one, sign off below, and I might do a kind of tactical video and show off my Marauders with that and talk about a couple of the variants there. So, but I really like how he's turned out. And let's see here. For our last, I think this is the last heavy, Warhammer. Another one of those classic mechs, super iconic. Super iconic. Absolutely love how this turned out. Really like, again, those Hazard Stripes from Fighting Piranha. Picked those up from Fortress Miniatures and Games. The prices are good, and it's a nice little extra detail. I've got a bunch of those types of things from Fighting Piranha that I haven't used, because I don't want to overload with decals, but there's some places where, like, yeah, that makes sense. So I like that. Now I think this guy's a light or salt or a big heavy. But we got the Black Knight. He might be a heavy. The only problem I have with this is his lenses are really hard to get in there on, because you'll have, like, you got the spots. I drew a little Irby the other day on stream. Here's my BR Irby for Be Right Back. But you get this little area, if I can find my pen here. I'm going to use a marker, I suppose. So you get this area when you're looking at his viewports where, like, let's say this is a normal, like, canopy or something you're painting, which is kind of like, you know, like that, right? And maybe you do like a little like glint and then like a little dot on the top, and you got like, you know, maybe it's this helmet and you got like a little, you know, Irby thing or something, like, you know what I'm saying, like that's your viewing area. The Black Knights is more like this kind of thing, and then it has like these little bars that go through it, right? So it makes it very difficult. That doesn't even look like them, but yeah, it makes it very difficult to paint those lenses, because it's technically like 4 pieces instead of 2. Like if it was a Space Marine lens where that was solid, that'd be easy, but those bars get in the way, and it's very difficult for me to get in there, so his aren't super duper good. So hopefully that little sticky note makes some sense. Now we've got, going into our, I think they're salts, the Warhammer 2C. I favored the standard Warhammer visually over the 2C, but because the Swordsworn functions during the Dark Age, also going to use them in proxy as Davian. Having some stuff like 3052 and beyond, having a couple 2Cs in an army or faction aren't too bad. And this being the only like clan mech I have, I feel like it could be fluffy and justified. So also looks super badass. At the time, I only had the one, so it was hard to convince myself to let it go for the Davians, but I picked up a second one from Fortress, so I can roll it into my mercs now. Got a Battlemaster from the Game Armor Combat box, and I really like how his canopy turned out. Whoops, back up just a smidge there. There we go. I'll try and rotate it some, because again, it's got gloss varnish on it, so it kind of sheens, which for cameras is annoying. For the real life, the sheen is nice. It gives the illusion of glass. Yep. And then we've got our Highlander, which is pretty cool, I think. Pew, pew. I guess that's more like the laser sound. And then we've got our Cyclops. Zoom that out a smidge there. I like pretty well how his cockpit turned out. And then we've got the Atlas, who's the least finished of all of them. I kind of saved him for last because I got to do the skull and I got to figure out what I want to do with the banding around here. I was kind of thinking of doing like a gold, since he's supposed to be kind of my Davian force leader because he's in an Atlas. So I got to figure out what I want to do with him. And then, oh, I totally forgot this guy over here. My awesome. He's awesome. He's also not finished or close. He's got some stuff to do. You can see I was working on the checker pattern, and it terminates back here, and I haven't finished. And I got to do the same on that side, and then do the glows and all the guns, obviously. But I really like how he's turned out. He's looking pretty cool. Pew pew. So yeah, that's my sea of Davian Swordsworn models that I'm currently working on. That's it's a lot. It's just it's a whole bunch of minis that we are currently trying to work on here. You can't even see, let me zoom out so you can't even see them all. Boom! All of those. But that's the project update. Hopefully I'll get these done soon and we can start getting them into some battle reports. As always, if you enjoyed this hobby update, you have anything you want to contribute, or you're working on some hobby stuff of your own, sound off in the comments below. Drop an Instagram link. Let me see what minis you are working on. If you enjoyed this, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're looking for anything and everything Battletech, check out Fortress Miniatures and Games, one of our YouTube sponsors here. If you like the painting you saw, check out Monument Hobbies. Their Pro Acro line is responsible for 99.99% of everything you've seen here. And if you're looking for some combined arms tanks or some of our custom mechs, check out Death Ray Designs down below. Coupon code and link as well. We also have some terrain. As always, thank you guys for letting me into your day. Thank you for letting me share my passion with you. I hope you're doing well. Hopefully this has inspired you to get some painting done, get some Battletech games in. But as always, it's time for me to go. Keep rolling those dice, keep painting those models, and I will catch you guys next time.